Okay, this is page 369. We did problems 9 through 14. Here's number 9. I cannot put that way over here because it'll be cut off the screen. So I just stacked them underneath it, and that's not a bad way of doing it. There's your indicator. That's a plus. So I'm going to take this and add them together. When I do, that ends up being 9x cubed, and I mark them off because I'm done with them. And then that's 2x squared plus 5x squared, which is 7x squared. And I mark those off because I'm done with them. That's -8, be careful, and -4, which is -12x. Mark those off because you're done with them. And then 9 minus 13, or -13 plus 9 is -4. And there's your answer. Okay, this is problem number 11. It's a subtraction problem, and we don't ever subtract. What you end up having is the subtraction sign right here. And so that means you have to multiply by -1. So this may be confusing to you, but when you have a negative right there, it's like having it there, and I put the 1 there, and that times that now is called 5x, -5x cubed, because the negative times a positive. So here's what I'm gonna do. I know I had to write this differently, I'm sorry. I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna change that, and I'm gonna change that. It's always easier to add than it is to subtract. 17 of these minus 5 of these is 12 of these. 9 minus 5, or -5 plus 9 is positive 4. X cubed, notice it's in descending order. There's a 3, there's a 2, here comes a 1. And there's -14, and that's your answer. Today we did a worksheet. Yesterday we did some of these problems. These are easier, there's more of them. This is called a trinomial. And when I tell everybody, when you try to factor a trinomial, you're going to use the FOIL method. Some of you are very familiar with this, some of you are not. This is what I teach. F stands for first. You take the first term and the first term, and you try to get the first term there. So that's x times x. Student asked me why, because x times x is x squared. Now, you take the L, and you try to get the last term and the last term. This is just an acronym. It just stands for first, outer, inner, last. So 2 times 7 would be 14. And then that's how you get the 14 right there. I do not teach put your signs in there yet. These are easy because they're plus, but when they get negative, they become a little bit confusing. I teach the get your grin on method. So you grin, you make a smiley face. And so it ends up being, that would be 7x, that would be 2x, and I am trying to get that middle term, which is positive 9x. So they both have to be positive, so they both have to be positive, and that's your answer. You do not have to go in and erase that. This is another trinomial. You see trinomial, you do this. You use the FOIL method, first times first, last times last. 3 times 5 is 15. It does not matter to put the 5 or the 3 there right now. These are the easy ones. Get your grin on, That's 5x, that's 3x. I'm trying to get a positive 8x. So they both have to be positive, they both have to be positive. This is another example, but they're both negative. So we're gonna have to figure out something. And this is why I teach it this way. You see a trinomial, you come in here and you do this. First times first is x times x. Last times last is 2 times 9. A lot of people want to use a 3 and a 6, but there's no way that a 3 and a 6 could ever give you 7. So here's what you do. You get your grin on, you write 9x, and then you write 2x. Don't put your signs in here. You're trying to get a -7x. So then you just do your math and you go, okay, which one of these has to be negative? For me to get a -7, it has to be the biggest one. So the 9 would be negative and the 2 would be positive, and I am done.